There's a lot of scraps TF2 content. Too much to count. Among your already asteroids and PL Cactus Canyons are the bad ideas, irradiated severed robot heads, and your cut polycount weapons. Among the good ideas, made into 2-hour-long CTF matches and backcap prone lasts, are the bad ideas that shouldn't have been added or are torment to the eye. Among your beer steins are the spawning camp deters, and among your grenades are the throwables. Throwable weapons were a new class of weapons being tested internally by Valve, but were either cut or abandoned for unspecified reasons. 404 UNF, April 23, 2020. More accurately, throwable weapons were essentially offshoots of the grenades from pre-release TF2 development, even including some grenades in the Throwables files. They were, you'll never guess it, weapons that could be thrown! All throwables are chargeable, meaning the longer you wait to throw them, the faster they're thrown, and the more damage they deal. Some throwables have more functions connected to charge than others. Charge determines speed, which is combined with random accuracies multiplied by the throwable's upward and right vectors, or movement. For upward movement, 200 hammer units are always added, since the projectile's arc. This is the same as weapons like the Girardi. For all throwables velocities, the projectile's speed starts at 1,000 hammer units and caps at 2,500 hammer units. Additionally, Girardi, Mad Milk, and the Gas Passer are all throwable weapons that only apply effects. Girardi and the Gas Passer apply effects that increase damage to the recipient, and Mad Milk awards health to anyone who damages the recipient. With all documented throwables dealing damage, are they true throwables? Possibly. Ask Steam Community Discussion Forum in 2017 then, yeah. Aim Punch, for those who aren't aware, is simply a screen shake. Couldn't find the precise impact of input values, so my best guess is to do with the angle of the punch. The throwable weapons class has two categories of weapons, primable and chargeable. Primable is for timed explosives, and chargeable is for scalable attributes, like the scaling weapon damages seen in almost every original throwable weapon. The repel explodes on hit, launching players away in the direction that was thrown. It uses C_balloon_default.mdl for its model, and explodes into bubbles. Damage is based on charge percent, with the range going from 20 to 50. It uses the same knockback method as the old Air Blast, literally apply Air Blast force in a comment, with the Z vector being set to 0, which is what makes it like the old Air Blast. Pushback is based on the vector to target times. FL Force, which is 300 times the charge percent, plus 350, plus FL Force as an upward displacement, inflicts aim punch of random value between -50 and -30. The brick was a brick that could be thrown. No way. It uses a C_bread_plain loaf model as a placeholder model. It's a teleporter red model you've probably seen in the game before. Damage is based on charge. Damage floors at 40 and caps at 70. That's it. That's all. The brick is not special. So I'm editing, and I realized that the recordings for Bread Monster were deleted, and also my script, because Notepad screwed up. And it's almost time to submit this for the contest before. The target dummy throwable would create a plywood target dummy from the map TR_target, where the throwable is thrown. Most of the information about it in TF_weapon_throwable, which is the common file location for all throwables stats, from the 2020 leak is copied from Bread Monster, and the model it references doesn't exist in-game. However, TF_target_dummy.cpp and .h can be found in the official SDK. From them, the target dummy has a lot of information recorded still. The most noteworthy line from TF_weapon_throwable.h is that the throwables model was set to be small_loaf.mdl, which doesn't exist in the game files. We can gather from TF_target_dummy.h that there is a model list for the dummy. The dummy originally used the Engineer and Demoman target models, but also links to a CTF target dummy, which determines the model's team color to match the players. For developer purposes, its health is set to 200, it receives 3 times damage from melees, 10% damage from bullets, and 20% from other, and has its lifetime set to 30 seconds. The on-take damage function otherwise dictates taking normal melee and fire damage. Parts of the code, including a event killed function, refer to Scream Fortress event functionality in Erasmus's hiding phase on Ghost Fort. The target breaks into gibs upon destruction, which act like ammo packs, but don't give metal, and can be destroyed by trains. Lastly, collision is disabled for players on the same team as the player who threw it, to prevent corridor blocking. Throwing knife is an interesting weapon, because the damage it deals is dealt as a critical if it hits someone from behind, and because it has completely unique projectile attributes, unlike every other throwable. It has a base damage of 10, but deals between 35 and 60 damage to the back based on charge, which is then dealt as critical. Its minimum projectile speed is 800 hammer units, 200 less than any other throwable. Its max speed is 2,700 hammer units, which is 200 higher than every other throwable. It has no random rate vector inaccuracies, and it has its upward vector multiplied by 0.1 instead of adding 190 to 210 hammer units. At no charge, it's worse than other projectiles, but risking fully charging it creates a reliable, powerful, which would kill every class without overheal but soldier and heavy from a vac shot. It's also the only weapon to have a set angular impulse. Last thing to mention, like the bread monster, it creates a sticky attachment to target, meaning it sticks out the player. And for the final throwable, and the most worthless one, there's a snowball, which, like, the existence of it is insane. It's like having your name in history because you paid taxes to the Roman Empire. It's an honorable mention at best, and a fun little trivia bit at worst. Literally a footnote in the file is found in. Look on screen.